Hello from Gardening at Dwensa here in Ireland. And it's the very end of November now, so I've stepped into the greenhouse to give you the November greenhouse update. Let's go in and see if there's anything at all in flower, but even if there isn't, there's various things of interest. This Brugmansia sanguinea has a couple of flowers at the moment and they're very welcome. Orange for the season that's in it, I guess. That one there. And there's another one over here at the back. There it is. Wouldn't that lovely flower brighten up your day? Certainly it does a good job of taking away from the horrible effect that bubble wrap makes. But you know, needs must. The bubble wrap does its job and I do need it in winter, so that's all that's to be said about that. Over on this side of the greenhouse, as you can see, the dahlias have been lifted and I've laid them here on the floor just to dry out before I do something more sensible with them. So it's very hard to get up this side of the greenhouse at all at the moment. On the greenhouse shelf, this little Echeveria is about to come into flower. Look at these dainty little red flowers. That's the plant itself. It's Echeveria affinis with a nice tight dark rosette, and it's producing this pretty little stem. The Agave attenuata jumps out here. This is the one I picked up in Madeira earlier on in the year. Now it does need potting on, but there's no way I'm potting this on at this time of year. It's going to have to wait until spring. And a bit further along, the Boophone that I made a spotlight video on. Coelogyne, looking good. Echeveria, Compton's Carousel, looking fine and good with lots of little rosettes forming along the stem. And yeah, lots of other things too. Watering in winter is always tricky, and there's a fine line between not watering at all and letting your plants die of dehydration and watering them too much so that their roots become susceptible to all kinds of rots. Now I try and check the greenhouse daily, but I don't always get there. At least I check it every couple of days, and what you need to watch out for is signs like this. So this plant has started to droop. It definitely needs a bit more water than I've been giving it. And look down there, you can see it really is quite dry. But dry is a good look for winter. This droopy looking plant here is called Roldana, and it's looking like it desperately needs some water, which it does. But that's one of the good things about Roldana. It actually tells you when it wants water without doing any harm to the plant. So just after I finish this video, I'm going to take the watering can and give this one a little drink. The light's dipping in now at the moment, but I just wanted to give you a final glimpse of the Haemanthus albiflos. Just going over now, you can see some of these shaving brushes are really past their best by date. There's one over here that still looks good, that one. But yeah, this plant has been absolutely fabulous this year. A gorgeous, gorgeous doer. This plant in front of us is my Veltheimia, and it's a pink flowering one. There are yellow as well, but mine is pink. Now this year the main bulb, which is the one in the middle there, has produced two offsets. I think one of them was produced last year, but yeah, they're doing well. I don't know if the little ones are going to produce flowers. The flower will come from in there. I don't see anything yet, but we can hope. Now the main bulb has flowered already twice this year from the same point in the centre, so I don't know if I'm going to get another flower, but well, it would be nice if I did. Down here underneath the staging is my Succulent Collection, or most of it anyway, and these guys really are not getting any water at the moment. I think I gave the epiphyllums a little drop recently, but look at this fella. Look at this. I think this is one of the ones that came as a cutting from Spain, but isn't it the maddest thing? I'm really pleased with it, although I have no idea what the name is. But yeah, okay, so they're just hanging in there, trying their best not to get waterlogged, trying their best to stay alive and roll on spring. And here we are looking at the succulents from the other angle, where we can just pan around and see underneath the Pelargonium table, where I have all the gingers, the cut back gingers, and a very large clivia over there. But yeah, I don't think I've given a shot of under here before. Well, it's not very glamorous, is it? Here's the white Cymbidium, the white Noid Cymbidium, still opening its blooms, and this awkward spike down here also still opening. Now, as the temperatures get cooler, the spiking slows down really on the Cymbidiums, and also because I'm watering this less. It doesn't get watered once a week, it's slightly less than that at the moment, so it kind of slows down, but yeah, it's doing well. What I don't like about these particular flowers is that as they open, the petals look quite grubby and yellowish, like almost nicotine stained. But when they do open finally, the flower colour is a much cleaner shade, as this one is up here. Here are my pelargoniums, and I'm managing to keep the watering right so far this year, not watering them too much, not watering them too little, because they haven't started rotting, which is very good, isn't it? Very good sign. This is quite a nice view from round this side, and this pelargonium is still flowering away. Now, I know I said I took all the flowers off, but I couldn't bear to take them off this species one. And it's just flowering and flowering and flowering, and it's just so nice to have something to look at when you come out here. Some reason for coming out and checking everything. So actually, I think this pelargonium is doing a good job of keeping all of the rest alive, because I come out to see its flowers, and when I'm out here, then I check whether the rest of them need watering, and you know, if there's any rot or botrytis going on. So yeah, that's my excuse for not deadheading this one, and I'm sticking to it. Over this side of the greenhouse, the Furcraea is getting really enormous. That's those big spiky plants there. And when I lifted them out of the border this year, I had kept them in pots because I knew if I'd put these into the ground during the summer, when autumn came, there would be no way I'd be able to dig them out. So these are in the same pots, which is stunting them slightly, but they seem good enough. They seem healthy enough. There are those blooming dahlias again on the floor, and I can't wait till they're dried out properly and I can put them away. It'll just make navigation around the greenhouse that much easier. It's really, really tricky to get up there now. And here's a pretty spectacle up this side of the greenhouse. Look at that Brugmansia flower. Isn't it fantastic? Now, this is actually a double Brugmansia. So there's the second part of the flower left in there ready to drop. Now, sometimes with the double Brugmansias, what I find is that if they don't get enough water or perhaps enough light, then the inside bit gets stuck and doesn't descend enough, and the flower goes prematurely brown. So I hope that doesn't happen here, but you know, it is November, so we can forgive the plant if the flower fades early. Right beside the Brugmansia, you can see there's a cane, and look what's on top of the cane here. It's just a shell. Well, that's to stop me taking my eye out when I tend to the plants. These canes that stick up can be really dangerous, and if you don't look where you're putting yourself, it really can, well, do you an injury. So yeah, that helps. It makes the cane visible. And besides the Brugmansia, here we have my Protea. Here's one of its flowers, still coming, still looking good. Can't wait for that. I'm not sure how many I have this year, but there's one up here at the top, and I think there's one at the back there. Yeah, actually this is the best formed one so far. Looking good. Okay, well, that's all for the moment from the greenhouse on this very bleak end of November. Roll on December, roll on Christmas, and all that kind of Christmas cheer. Thanks very much for watching, everybody. Bye now.